Welcome to the 10th Year Podcast, a podcast about health, parenting, and relationships with your hosts, Christoph and Crystal. Welcome to the 10th Year Podcast, everybody. I'm your co-host, Christoph.
And I'm Crystal.
And this is going to be the coffee episode.
Woohoo!
Yeah, this is a topic that we may feel the most passionate about.
Oh, God, yes.
I really feel this can really be talked about on top of anything else.
Yes.
Want to talk about kids? No, not before coffee.
No.
Coffee always comes first. And
It's the first thing I grab in the morning. Oh, no, actually, I grab my phone first. But coffee should be the first thing I grab in the morning.
that's only because we don't have a coffee maker in the bedroom. I can change that.
And you know what? That relates to our last topic, too, with electronics.
Being plugged in, it does. That's called keeping it in the loop here.
I know, but you really shouldn't be looking at your phone in the dark as soon as you wake up in the morning.
You shouldn't. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And another world we live in is if you want to support our podcast, be sure to go over to our Facebook page and visit the links we have there for you in order to help give back. Go to thebeardeddetailer.com, strikeforceenergy.com, or use our bookmark our Amazon affiliate link. And that'll help us keep this podcast rolling. And it will also keep coffee on our table. Now,
Which is not right now.
today
Today was rough.
is a crap day. Let's start.
Worse than crap.
Yeah, let's start off with the fact that I accidentally uploaded the podcast episode 2 about a week too early. I was supposed to schedule it, and that did not happen. And dare I say, this happened because I didn't have a proper cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true. So everything that happens today can be just dwindled down to not having a proper cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So we love coffee, and we ran out of coffee.
Yes.
Not proud of this. So
No.
we it's no secret. We talked about this in the introduction episode as well about we get our coffee from Black Rifle Coffee Company. They are in Salt Lake City, Utah. They are a veteran-owned company. They are a small batch roast-to-order coffee company. Shameless plug. And we're part of their coffee club, so it comes every month at the exact same time. However, I'm going to have to send an email tomorrow. It seems like our orders are taking longer and longer to ship to us. Instead of 3 days, they're now up to 8 days, and that's...
And we're getting angrier and angrier.
Yes.
Today's not a good day.
Today's not a good day because we ran out.
And now we have to go get coffee somewhere else.
Yeah, and I had a crap bag of coffee tucked away that I don't remember how we got it, if it was a gift, if I bought it. I don't remember why we have this bag.
What was the expiration date?
August of this year.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad. But coffee probably has, an expiration date of a year?
Well, coffee technically never expires. It's a best buy.
Best Buy.
Best
okay.
used by. And usually I believe that is if I remember correctly, 3 to 5 week life. There's a window of 3 to 5 weeks when it is the best to be after being roasted. So yeah, after being roasted, there is a window of best used by. This window, because let's face it, by the time it reaches a grocery store,
Yeah.
it's already past that window.
Yeah, it's best to buy from a roaster.
Yes, and honestly, there are tons of coffee companies. There's a coffee company posting up every corner. I'm sure there's one that's going to post up in this closet like, oh, there's one right there.
Oh, I wish there was.
Oh, I wish there was too.
But no, I have water instead.
But there is just good coffee is fresh coffee. Anyone who can source a good coffee bean and roast it, and as long as they're not ruining it during the roasting process, it's good coffee. And then just learn your proportions and whatnot like that. So yes, we had to. Today is one of the first days in a long time I've had to pour coffee down the drain.
Yes, and I made mine into a bulletproof coffee, hoping that the butter and my oil would mask the taste.
Now,
it did not.
Well, before we go off onto what bulletproof coffee is, because I think that's important to go into.
Yes.
What you just said is one of my pet peeves. Now, I don't blame you for doing it this morning. But when you've experienced this, and I have, people go, "Oh, I love coffee," and you go, "Okay,
True.
Let me get you a coffee. What do you want?"
Tons of creamer.
Make
it a creamer with a little bit of coffee.
I'll go. I'm usually I get like an 8-ounce coffee with 4 ounces of creamer and 17 ounces of sugar.
Yes.
You know what? No, don't get sugar. Get Splenda. It's better for me.
So honestly, in the end, that's kind of like drinking a candy bar because there's
Yes.
so many calories. Even if you do the sugar-free ones, there are chemicals and other stuff that are in there that are not good for you. That's how they're making it sugar-free.
Well,
But-
it's not even that. You can't say you like coffee
you
and then
can't
you put stuff in it. You don't like coffee. You like what you put in it.
Yeah, you like a sweet treat.
That's like saying you like rice, but you only eat rice when you put 5 pounds of salt on it. Then you really don't like rice then, do you? You like it.
You like salt.
Honestly, I think the only way to truly appreciate a drink or a food is to be able to enjoy it like a steak. If you put
Yes.
ketchup, I think a steak is probably a better analogy with
Yes.
coffee. A good steak should be able to be slapped on a grill, cooked to the proper. And so for coffee, it's profile, which is the roasting profile, and but you should be able to cook it to whether you are a medium person. Certain cuts are allowed to be cooked to a little bit more than medium well or well done, but you should be able to not put anything on that steak and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Then
I
you
agree.
can yeah. Now, obviously, I like steak. I like to put very mild seasonings on, just to
Actually,
enhance.
some people put a type of like herbed butter on filet mignon. I will say that does taste good.
Right. We're getting off on a tangent here, but with coffee, I feel it's the
Yes.
same thing, that you should be able to enjoy coffee for what it is. And if for some reason you can't, there's a good chance you're probably drinking bad coffee. It's either
Yes.
it's past the best by.
Because when I drink it primarily black, even though sometimes I do bulletproof. But if I go to, and I'm sorry for all the people who love this place, but if I go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks,
Boo.
it has to have something in it. I cannot drink
Well, it doesn't
black.
help that they serve it at 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, no, like both Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts to me taste kind of like burnt. I don't know if that's
It's because it's 5,000 degrees.
it just I can't
Yeah.
tolerate it black. The taste is, and it doesn't matter whether or not it's French vanilla black or
Right.
whatever flavor. I
Yeah.
just can't do it.
Yeah, and I agree with it. I rarely get coffee from other places. And for the reason, mostly because I like to limit myself to like 1 cup a day. I don't like to have
Yeah.
5, 7, 20 cups a day. I remember as a kid, there was this hairdresser that my dad was going to. Don't ask why. She was good at cutting hair, but I went there too, and she was like 4'10", and apparently drank a pot, 1 full pot of coffee to herself every day.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Way to put your phone on vibrate, honey.
well, it is my mom, and she's mentioning about cast iron skillets. So
Ooh.
yeah, but
I like those.
but like a pot of coffee, that's a lot. That's a lot for me, who's 6'2". I could not imagine being shorter, smaller, and having to drink that much coffee. That's too much.
Well, I guess it depends on whether or not it's caffeinated or decaffeinated.
I don't think it mattered. And she was not drinking decaf. She was wired, and. No, I don't even think so. No, I don't even think that matters, because you're not getting any major benefit from decaf coffee other than the taste. It's not hydrating.
Well, I still like the taste. I could drink coffee all day
Well, and we do.
and be decaf.
And we have. We've gone to sleep right after a cup of coffee.
Yes, because coffee for us, caffeine doesn't really affect us. It's more we drink
And a
it
normal
for the
cup of
comfort
And the taste, yes.
and the taste.
The warmth.
Yes, the warmth.
The warmth. Like yesterday when I was out on the boat, I stopped and I had to go to Dunkin' because I knew we were going to be out of coffee. And I got a black coffee from them and put it in the thermos. And
Did you drink it when you came home?
No.
An hour later?
No.
Or 2 hours?
No, because I put it in a
Oh.
thermos, which that thermos keeps it boiling hot.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But when I'm
It's
sitting out
always
on
too hot.
when it's 25 degrees out, suddenly that 5,000 degrees seems pretty nice. So go into bulletproof coffee. Why? What is a bulletproof coffee, and what are the benefits?
So a bulletproof coffee is taking your regular brewed coffee, You're putting it in a blender with about a tablespoon or two of a good butter. I'm not talking about margarine. I'm not talking about like the cheapest butter you can find. I'm talking about grass-fed butter because it has more additional health benefits.
And what you buy, was it O'Brien? No, not Brian.
Kerrygold.
Kerrygold. I knew it was some Irish name.
Yes. It is from grass-fed cows, and that I find at Aldi, for anybody who loves Aldi. If you don't know, I absolutely love Aldi. It's my favorite place. We need to do an episode about Aldi.
Aldi is good.
I could talk for hours on Aldi.
I know you could.
But
25 minutes only.
Yeah. Kerrygold is very expensive in your average grocery store, whether it is Wegmans or we have a Giant here. We have a Wise here. You're going to pay, I believe, either $4 or a little bit less or a little bit over $4, somewhere in the range of $4. But recently, within like the past, I would say like 2 to 3 months, Aldi has been having Kerrygold at the store, and I pay $2.70, I believe.
Well, and to be clear, we don't buy it in the stick form. It gets bought in bricks.
Yeah, well, Aldi only has bricks. So the grocery store, though, has sticks.
Right. But we go through a lot of butter, too.
We go through I buy like 5 bricks each time that I buy
like
butter.
currency. We use gold bars of butter for currency in this house.
It is gold.
It is a gold wrapper, too. So, okay, so it's the coffee.
Butter.
How much butter?
About a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. Depends on how creamy you want it.
Okay.
And a tablespoon or 2 of MCT oil. And it just depends on how much energy you want from your coffee. MCT oil, now that I'm put on the spot, is a very... I'm going to have to Google it. I'm going to have to Google it because I don't want to get any of it wrong. But let me go into, while I'm Googling MCT oil. So you put all of that stuff into a blender. And you blend it for about 30 seconds. You're going to see that the coffee turns color. It's going to go from that black color to, I would say, like a cappuccino.
A light brown.
Creamy, that nice creamy. It has foam on top of it. Ooh, there's the MCT oil that I get. And you can add different flavors into it. If you want a pumpkin one, you could put a little bit of pumpkin spice in it.
For all those basic bitches out there.
Yeah, you gotta love pumpkin. For Christmas, you could do just a little bit of peppermint oil, and I mean seriously just a little bit of peppermint oil, because peppermint oil is very strong, or extract. Peppermint extract is very potent.
Well, it's an extract, so.
And I've accidentally have put too much in it, and it just opens your sinuses.
I'm a candy cane.
Yeah, it's way too much.
Can you do this with cold brew as well too? Is it only hot brew, or have you only done it with one?
I've only done it with one.
I imagine you could do it with cold brew as well.
So MCT oil is short for medium chain triglycerides. It is only packed with healthy fats. It works directly in cells to give you an extra boost for maximizing your performance and for energy. It is made from 100% pure coconut oil, and it contains the full spectrum of MCTs, including lauric acid.
Yeah. Crystal is not a linguist.
Nope,
she's
not at all. But I'm an excellent sonographer. That's what matters the most.
You're here for me to scan your stomach. What's a stomach? I didn't know what a stomach was.
So, but in the end, this is a very healthy, pure oil that gives you an added boost of energy. And it all has to do about how it's like processed in the body and everything. But you guys can research that yourself.
Yeah, we're not here to give you all the information. You do it yourself. Please ask your doctor when if a bulletproof coffee is good for you. Okay, so that you did that this morning, and
I did that this morning in hopes And I put a little bit of vanilla
Extract.
not extract. I did
Oil.
my stevia, my little
Oh.
sweet drops. I did a little bit of that, and that is also very potent, and it did not help.
Yeah, it's garbage coffee. I'm throwing it out. Our order is supposed to deliver this week. I know with the holidays it probably slowed things down too, but
Yeah.
I will go to Wawa and I'll pick up a bag of beans and
Wawa is good. I could drink Wawa black, just
Yeah.
not Dunkin' and Starbucks.
no.
I do like the peppermint latte
You know-
at Starbucks, though.
Tim Hortons has their beans are good too. I like their beans.
Yeah, but they're not as close.
Yeah, I know.
To get
I'd have to
to
go
as
in
Wawa.
downtown Allentown,
And
and they're not open all the time either.
I
they're
don't
in
think
the-
a lot of people actually have a Tim Hortons.
Well, that's
by
the
them.
thing. Well, Tim Hortons is a Canadian thing, so they're more prevalent up north, where like near the Canadian border, New York,
Yeah.
and like up by my brother near Rochester. They have a lot up there because they're closer to Canada, to Canuckistan. That's our northern brothers of Canuckistan. It's Canada.
Yeah.
Canuckistan. But getting back into it here. So coffee. All right. Well, we typically do every day. We have a nice Mr. Coffee. I
Yes.
like that coffee pot. It's very good. It's got a nice timer on it. You can adjust brew strength.
I wonder if that's on Amazon to do our product review.
I think we did get it off of Amazon.
We did, because this coffee pot has the filter in it to filter bad particles out
Correct.
of the water.
So it is a double filtered pot. So you pour your water in like you normally do with a coffee pot. It has like one of those round charcoal water filters like that you would normally find in like a fish tank almost. Those cartridges.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
yes.
So that sits on top of the coffee filter and beans. So the water gets pumped through the coffee pot. It goes through that filter first. So any sediment, whether you live in an old building with old pipes that might have crap in the pipes, or just dirty water or whatnot, it filters that before it hits the coffee, which is really nice. So you're getting filtered water without having to keep like a Brita in your
Yes.
fridge or hook one up to your faucet or whatnot. And it is the refills for those are really cheap. They're not that bad. I get them on Amazon as well. But it's a great coffee pot. I really like that coffee pot. So that's typically what we do.
And we do get a lot of stuff on that filter.
Yes. I mean, even with our well water, we have a pretty good system here. But the our mixture, I've kind of gotten it locked down to how much coffee to water. So I do 4 level tablespoons, and I have a special tablespoon scoop that's just for coffee. It can't be used for anything else. So 4 tablespoons of coffee grounds, and then I use you fill the coffee pot up to 6 cups of water on the coffee pot. And then obviously if you just increase it from there by 2s. So if I want a little bit more, we do 6 scoops of coffee to 8 cups of water. So it just gets adjusted from there. But that's typically what we do. That's a normal day for us. We get 1 cup of that. We also have an AeroPress, which is nice. That is a quicker way to make a cup of coffee. What's nice about an AeroPress is you can really make it any strength you want. When I do it though, for us, it's kind of like it pretty much makes an espresso. It's
pretty strong.
Yeah, it's a little stronger. It's more concentrated.
Can't drink that before bed.
It's kind of like a mini French press. Is really what
Yeah.
it is. It's a mini French press, and it's a good travel size. So we've taken it down to Wookiees in the Woods with us, which is nice when we travel in April. It's really nice. I like using that. And then the other way we consume coffee is cold brew, which we will talk about this at the end here. But I have a cold brew container that works really, really well. It's a screen, so you're not wasting paper filters, and you just put your grinds in there. And then I do a 24-hour cold brew. For cold brew, cold brews, I love cold brew, and it is different than iced coffee.
Yes.
Iced coffee, for those who don't know, there is a difference. Iced coffee is hot coffee poured over ice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hot coffee that has been allowed to chill. That is different. Hot coffee, so heat activates caffeine. So when you're cooking coffee, when you're making coffee, the heat activates the caffeine in the bean. So it will also come out more acidic. I think it's 67%. I believe is what I read. Yeah, 67% more acidic with regular hot coffees. I know you've said it. I've said it. And if other people say that, oh, coffee gives me heartburn.
Only bad coffee does that for me, though.
Right.
Which don't
expired or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is what does it.
Or if the mixture is wrong or whatever. But if you take that same coffee, whoever it is, however old it is, and you were to make it into a cold brew, a true cold brew, it would be 67% less acidic. Mm-hmm. And there is less caffeine. Well, it depends on how you're making the cold brew. Technically, cold brew should have more caffeine because it's supposed to be made into a concentrate. But the way I make it, it's not really the case. It is less caffeine, but less acid as well too. That's for us when you just want to have a cold cup, a nice, refreshing, smooth cup of cold coffee, which is nice. So
like during the summer and
yes, I can pound cold brew in the summertime. I love it. So cold brew is exactly what it sounds like. It's like we have a cat that wants to come into the office. Come on in, Wolfie. Oh, I didn't realize you guys were doing something. So he doesn't know what to do. But so cold brew is you put your grounds in. Usually you want to use a coarser ground so it doesn't go through the filter because ours is a wire mesh filter, so you don't want it to go through that. And then you add cold water to it and you let it sit. And then it by over time, kind of like tea, when you dip a tea bag in. Oh, he changed his mind. He doesn't want to come in now. Kind of like a tea bag when you let it, or when you're making sun tea, where you put it out in you put tea bags in a jar and let it sit outside and it slowly activates. It's the same concept, but with coffee. And you want to do a cold brew anywhere between 12 to 24 hours. Anything less than that is not going to be good. It's not going to be strong enough. Anything more than that is too much. It can actually just start going, it can just get sloppy at that point. So 12 to 24 is the magic number. And then I always, when I'm pouring it, I pour it into a separate jar so I can reuse the cold brew maker. And I go one step further and filter it after it's been brewed in case any of the grounds have gone through the filter. This way we're not drinking swirly grounds and whatnot like that. But so those are the benefits. Cold brew, less acidic. Depending on how you make it, it can have more caffeine. The way I make it doesn't have more caffeine. And then espresso, where you want to press the water through the coffee, more concentrated, and then a traditional coffee pot. There's also pour over, which I don't do very often. We do it when we go to my parents. My dad does a pour over. Where you have a ceramic or a plastic dripper that goes on top of a cup. You put a filter in, the coffee grinds up there, and you just pour hot water on top of it. There are right and wrong ways to do that. You're supposed to saturate your filter first with water, and then you're supposed to add a little water to it to help it the grounds. I keep saying grinds. The grounds to bloom, and then you add your water and whatnot like that. But I'm not here to critique people's techniques. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. I'll be happy to go over that with you. But so why do I drink coffee? Why do you drink coffee?
I drink coffee for the comfort. It is my comfort food. So instead of going to cookies or candy or something like that, it really, I get the same feeling with coffee as I do with that type of comfort food.
And every time, too.
And every time, too, yes. It just makes me feel nice and warm and happy. And it doesn't matter to me whether or not it's caffeinated or decaffeinated because it does not affect me. I don't drink coffee for the energy boost. If I am doing the bulletproof, of course, I'm drinking it for more of an energy boost, but it's because of what I'm putting in it and how it works with my body for the energy. It's not the caffeine that is giving me the energy boost.
We're some of the weird people that are like, there are more people like this that can drink coffee and nothing does it.
Yes.
I could sit down every morning and have a cup of hot water with nothing in it. And it would do the same thing for me. It would wake me up. It gets my body going. Something, excuse me, something hot is going through my body. It would have the same effect.
It just doesn't have the comforting flavor.
But then I'm just drinking hot water, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste.
But like I like to drink hot tea also, and bone broth.
I hate you so much. You're weird. But yeah, and that's why too. And also for a lot of people, coffee is a diuretic. Correct?
Yes. That's an interesting topic.
That is a big bonus, and it honestly, I would say that is one of the top 2 reasons why I drink coffee.
But it relates to so many people. It really
Yes.
does happen to a lot of people.
It starts my day.
But honestly, like thinking back to all the years that I've been drinking coffee, that's only been happening since we've had good coffee.
Oh, see, for me, it's never been. It's always been that way.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that hasn't been the case for me prior
Right.
to buying
Well-
Black Rifle coffee.
Well, you were also not drinking it black.
Well, I've been drinking it black though for at least a couple of years now. I honestly don't remember when I started drinking black.
And you simply switched to black coffee by just doing it. You
Just by doing it.
stopped putting stuff in it and started drinking black coffee.
Yes.
I egged you on a little bit, I think.
But if you are looking to go black coffee and you are really into creamers and milk and sugar, you can just slowly start reducing them so that you're getting more used to having a coffee that has less and less in it. Because ideally, it is nice to stop cold turkey, but that is hard for a lot of people.
Not everyone has bulletproof willpower.
Yeah,
That's just-
you have to have extremely high willpower to stop something that you've been eating or drinking or doing for many years and just go, yep, I'm gonna do it this way now.
Yep.
So if you slowly, like if you put, let's just say like 1/4 of a cup of milk in, try reducing it to what's 1/2 of a 1/4? I don't know. An eighth. Try doing it like do what you normally do for.
Well, I think what sucks is most people, when they're adding milk and sugar,
They
at
eyeball
home,
it.
It's eyeball. That's the color I like. You know.
Yes, do it by color. So you're used to it. That's how you know you're an excellent coffee drinker. Do it by the color and how you always do it, and then just make it a little bit darker, maybe like a few days later. But I think a lot of people actually like measure out their sugar though, because most people do like
with
teaspoon.
a spoon. Yeah.
So if you're used to doing like 2 teaspoons, try to do like maybe 1.5 teaspoons a few days later, and then reduce it down to a teaspoon.
Right.
And then a couple of days later, reduce it down to 1/2 teaspoon. Just slowly work yourself closer to black coffee, and then it'll transition easier for you from going to a very high calorie, high sugar, sweetened coffee to a healthier black coffee.
Yep. And honestly, once you get all that stuff out, you really can. I hate to say it'll turn you into a snob for coffee, but you'll start tasting. It's like having a good steak versus a bad steak.
Yes.
Or a good burger versus a bad burger. You'll notice. You'll be able to go, oh, I can taste this is now a medium blend. I can now taste this is a dark blend, or this is a little darker than that one. And that's a whole nother topic right there. The fact that how long the bean is roasted and where the bean comes from all has something into play with whether it's a dark roast or a light roast. And typically, the lighter the roast, the higher the caffeine that you'll get from. Mm-hmm. Dark roasts typically don't have as much caffeine as a light roast. I know we do a nice medium. Mm-hmm. Just black, if you're going to Black Rifle Coffee, just black I recommend as a good starter.
That's my favorite.
It's right in the middle. It is very well rounded. It's not too bold. It's not too acidic. It's right in the middle. It's a very good way. For the espresso, when I'll use the AeroPress, I definitely like to go with Silencer Smooth, which is a light roast. But they're Murdered Out, which is their middle. if you're trying to wean yourself off of milk and sugar or cream and sugar. That's just my opinion for that. So.
And honestly, from a healthy standpoint, though, if you're putting all that stuff in your coffee, it's not healthy at all.
No.
It literally is just like eating a candy bar for breakfast, but you're drinking it. And
which, look, I love cake for breakfast. There's nothing wrong with candy bars.
I love cake too, but I have a healthy shake that tastes like cake.
I have Pop-Tarts for breakfast. That's like having a candy bar.
Oh my God, I just bought you
did buy
sugar cookie Pop-Tarts. And they have little faces on them.
Well, I'll be reporting in next week with how many pounds I've lost since I started consuming those.
Ass.
But we've that's our talk on coffee. We're gonna go into our Amazon. We're gonna talk about we're gonna put up the link for the cold brew. Primula.
We'll say Primula.
Primula. They put so many. It's a 50 ounce. Essentially, it's a 50 ounce glass carafe with a filter, a lid, a spout, and there is a mixer as well too. But I don't use the mixer. That's if you want to add like any sort of concentrates to it. We don't do that. But it's $27. It is Amazon Prime. We'll put up the link to it. It's very easy to use. I like it. Be careful. It is glass. So if you're traveling somewhere, I have had one shatter. I've had to. This is our second one we've had because I had the first one break. So they're very, very good. It'll fit in your fridge. Our good friend Zach also has this too. He bought it after I recommended it to him, and we'll probably maybe I'll sprinkle a few other coffee related items throughout the week on the Facebook page as well too that we'd like to use, like the grinder I use for grinding coffee. Although I'd like to get a new one. The one that Zach has, choose the quantity that you need and the coarseness of the grind, which is an AeroPress. We'll do all that at once. So, but I think that's all I got. Do you got anything?
No, I don't think so.
Also, one thing, because I told Chloe we might mention this. Chloe, our oldest, likes to drink coffee.
Yes.
And Carrie does too, but
Carrie prefers
cold brew.
Yeah. She does not, but Chloe, man. She's starting to really like it.
She's an ambush.
And but they say that children with ADHD having coffee helps them too.
Right. Because like everything, not everything affects every person the exact same way. Mm-hmm. So apparently, and I mentioned this to somebody else once too, that she had witnessed a parent give her child who was having just a breakdown a little bit of coffee, and calm the kid right down. Mm-hmm. So where some people need coffee to amp themselves up, others can have it to calm themselves down. Mm-hmm. So since I've been letting Chloe have a couple sips of coffee first thing in the morning before school, and there have been no problems. She has been doing very, very well with her attention has been a little bit better. I guess we're going to have an episode because everyone's thinking, we keep mentioning Chloe, but we haven't discussed why this is an issue. So we'll have an episode where we talk kind of a little bit about Chloe and why Chloe is Chloe, which is awesome. She's an awesome kid, but we'll get into that at a later date. But so coffee, she likes it. So definitely consult your doctor, but don't write off giving your kids coffee. I mean, I had coffee at a young age, and they say, "Oh, coffee stunts your growth." Or
I know you're a tall man.
I'm 6'2". Didn't stunt my growth.
I think Chloe could use a little stunting.
she is a little tall.
She's like what, the height of if she's in second grade now, she's probably the height of a fourth grader, because when she was in first grade, she was the height of a third grader.
She's 7. A lot of her clothes are 10, 11.
Yeah.
And some 12s she has too.
Yeah.
So
she's catching up to me.
She's a big girl. Yeah. She's almost as tall as her teacher. Her teacher's short. Yeah. But so that's it. I promise this will be released when it's supposed to be and not early. So
yes, so Merry Christmas.
So this and now,
Happy Holidays.
I know we said on the last episode that it's going to be the Christmas episode, but this is the Christmas episode. So
at least it better be.
It better be. So
I'm not recording again this week.
No, we are going to start keeping these shorter. I know the last episode was around the 50-minute mark. This is going to be in the 35-minute mark. So this is kind of where we want to be.
It's not bad for something we're really passionate about.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough because we both, I love to talk.
Yeah.
So for us to condense everything into a shorter episode is going to be hard, but we're going to do it.
Depends on the topic for me.
Yeah, it does. Well, yeah, for you.
I've talked a lot more in the coffee
Well, yeah, we love
topic
coffee.
than the TV.
We love coffee.
Oh, I love coffee.
But yeah, my takeaway from all this: don't live a little, find a nice, good coffee. Make sure it's fresh. Fresh makes all the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rely on Starbucks. And I'm sorry, if you're going to Dunkin' or Starbucks or McDonald's every day to buy coffee, you can save yourself so much money to buy a good coffee pot once and just have a timer, and it will do it for you in the morning. You're saving money.
Well, quickly on money, how much does Black Rifle cost?
I think for our subscription, I get 2 bags once a month for $24 shipped. But we're part of the coffee club as well, too. So go to their website and sign up for their coffee club if you want to lock in those prices.
And then the average, I would take it
bag. But that's a month, a 12-ounce bag.
But in the grocery store,
It's way more than that.
No, I don't think they're way more than that. Aren't they? Aren't like bags of coffee like?
Well, that's about $12 a bag.
Okay.
But that's fresh roasted to your order. So if you go to the grocery store, it's probably around that same.
So take a look at the prices in your grocery store.
But if you're buying a $2-3 cup of coffee every single day,
true.
Look at that. You're going to Dunkin'. You're wasting money just because you don't want to.
You're paying the CEO so he can sit by the pool.
Yeah.
And enjoy life.
Not drinking his own coffee, I'll tell you that. But yeah, simply, so you can save yourself money by getting a nice coffee pot. And like I said, I do our timer every single night, so we don't have to do it first thing in the morning. It's already done and ready for us.
Now, what about K-Cups?
Black Rifle does K-Cups.
They do K-Cups.
Yes, and apparently their K-Cups are cheaper than like going to Costco and stuff like that. So if
Okay.
you're a K-Cup person, they are on Amazon Prime as well too. So maybe I'll put up a link to their K-Cups on there as well. I haven't personally had their K-Cups, but apparently I've heard from several interviews that their K-Cups are top-notch.
Okay.
Apparently, as far as K-Cups go. So that's it. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you all for listening. And if you have an idea for our catchphrase, we need to have like a little catchphrase at the end of every episode.
How about coffee is life?
We can't really add that at the end of like.
Oh yes, we can.
At the end of every episode.
Yes.
I don't know if that works. Stay coffee? No.
No.
Whatever. We'll figure it out. Thanks all for listening. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. And until next time, I'm Christoph.
And I'm Crystal.
Have a good one. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the 10th Year Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, visit our Facebook page or email us at the10thyearpodcast@gmail.com.